I'm dying here. Please, I need this money to save my life. I can't die like this. I'm begging you, man.
At exactly 2:17 p.m., Jerry Boshoga stepped out of his car, glanced back at his brother, and said two words that would later echo like a curse. "I'll be back." He never was. Within minutes, a black luxury sedan disappeared into Pretoria traffic, carrying a man who would soon become the center of one of South Africa's most disturbing mysteries. Phones began ringing. Demands followed. Then came the videos. Jerry bound, bruised, begging for his life. But this was no ordinary kidnapping. Behind the ransom calls lay whispers of drug labs, dirty money, and men so powerful their names made police officers lower their voices. At the center of those whispers stood one name, Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, a businessman with government contracts, armed bodyguards, and enemies in the shadows, friend or betrayer, witness or mastermind. And how does a man vanish in broad daylight in a busy city without leaving a single confirmed trace? This is not just the story of a missing businessman. It is a descent into South Africa's criminal underworld, where loyalty is deadly, silence is bought, and some disappearances are designed never to be solved. This is the disappearance of Jerry Boshoga. Within hours, Boshoga's family began receiving phone calls from kidnappers. They insisted the family not contact the police and demanded ransom, initially at extremely high levels. Over weeks, the amount is reported to have been reduced from around 60 million rand to roughly 10 million rand. Yet the kidnappers continued to pressure the family. Then came something almost unbearable. Videos of Boshoga in captivity, visibly battered, tied up, and pleading for his family to pay for his life. These graphic clips circulated in private channels and even surfaced briefly on social media, traumatizing loved ones. Authorities warned repeatedly that rumors and unverified reports, including claims that Boshoga had been found dead, were false, and emphasized that no evidence proves he is deceased. As of early 2026, investigations continue, and neither his body nor confirmed sightings have emerged. The South African Police Service, SAPS, categorically stated that the investigation is active and sensitive, urging the public to refrain from spreading rumors. Authorities remain in contact with Boshoga's family and have not closed the case. Interpol's support and ongoing local task force work have confirmed that Boshoga's disappearance remains a focus of law enforcement, but no conclusive breakthrough has been publicized. However, Boshoga's family, his wife, parents, and siblings have endured an ordeal of fear, grief, and uncertainty. His sister described how, on the day of his disappearance, worry set in within minutes and quickly spiraled into terror when calls from the abductors began. Despite cooperating with police and public appeals for information, the family has had no definitive news of his whereabouts. They have endured repeated emotional distress as misinformation spread online added to their anguish.
Have you been to the farm of the father of Jerry's wife to ask that they pay a ransom of 10 million or anything to that?
To the farm.
To the farm or to the father? No, to the father. Let's leave the farm. Have you been to the father, like the father-in-law of AB?
Jerry's father-in-law. Yeah.
I mean, Jerry's father-in-law.
Yeah.
Have you been there and asked that they pay some ransom to these people?
No, I've been there, but not to say to pay ransom.
Yeah, but what were the discussion between you and the father-in-law? Because the story now is Jerry has kidnapped himself because he wants to extort 10 million from the father-in-law. And to a particular extent, you went to say to the father-in-law, please pay something because it looks like the father-in-law is well off.
He's not well off, but that's what they're saying. So actually, I volunteered to pay 5 million myself. And I said, if you guys can raise 5 million, I'll pay 5 million myself so that we can get him. So I went there to speak to his father-in-law and say, listen, let's go 50-50. I can pay 5 and you pay 5. And he said, if they kidnap me, you must tell them that they must kill me. I will never pay any money.
Speak to the Jerry's kidnappers, your younger brother, and plead with them. For sure they are listening. They knew we were coming to speak to you. If you're to speak to their conscience, what were you going to say?
I will say, what we need now is closure. So whether they have them, they must just release him because he's diabetic. So I don't think wherever he is, he's in a good health. And also, if they did something to him still, let them give us a sign somewhere to at least have a closure to know, because it's not nice every day sleeping, not knowing what happened to your brother, your father, your son. So what can at least comfort us now is closure, whatever it is, so at least we can know going forward what to do.
With your security experience, do you think Jerry is still alive? I mean, those kidnapping people, if they kidnap you to extort money, for you to give them money, a ransom and all of that, but once they keep you for too long, you become an expense to them because they have to feed you, they have to, if you are sick, medication, accommodation and all of that. Why would they keep you this long when they know that there's actually nothing coming forward? Do you think Jerry is still alive? Not do you know. With your own security experience and your instinct as a friend who says to the mother of Jerry, this was like my younger brother. Something in you should tell you that this guy is no longer there or is still there.
Honestly, I agree with you. At some point, he will end up being a liability to his abductors. So I don't think also myself by now that if he's alive, then what are they gaining for keeping him so long and then spending money on him, but they're not getting anything in return? So it's a very hard one to accept, but obviously when you add one and one together, for me, it does not give me, I wouldn't say that these people will benefit anything from keeping him so long. I don't think so.
Now, have you ever heard anything about Mr. Boshoga again? Where is he?
I don't know.
As far as I'm aware, he hasn't been heard of again.
Yes, I don't know.
And what happened to his business?
I don't know.
And what happened to the money he still owes you? Not been paid?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Very suspicious. That whole thing is suspicious. Does it not rouse your suspicions? This disappearance.
It's suspicious.
Yes.
Of course, it's suspicious.
Yeah. Where's his wife and his child?
At their house, I think.
They've returned, just not him.
They've what?
Have they returned?
A shadow has loomed over the case from the start. Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, a controversial figure described both as a tenderpreneur and an alleged crime syndicate member. Matlala's name surfaced early. Police conducted a raid on his property in Centurion on the 6th of December 2024, looking for any connection to Boshoga's disappearance, but found no trace of the missing man. Rumors quickly spread among social circles and online that Matlala might be involved. Family members themselves publicly questioned Matlala's role, and investigators acknowledged that he is considered a person of interest, though authorities have not publicly charged him with the kidnapping. Evidence and investigative leads. Some investigative reports have noted that a distinctive white sheet seen in Ransom videos matched a sheet found in Matlala's home, a coincidence that raised questions during forensic reviews. Separate testimony submitted at the government's Matlala Commission of Inquiry, a probe into corruption and criminal influence in policing, also suggested links between Matlala and Boshoga's disappearance. A witness indicated certain police figures believed Matlala had a connection to the case. In November 2025, Matlala appeared before a parliamentary ad hoc committee probing allegations of corruption and interference in the criminal justice system. From behind prison bars, where he was being held on unrelated charges, he spoke about his relationship with Boshoga. Matlala described Boshoga as a close friend since about 2012. He acknowledged that Boshoga was involved in what he called drug manufacturing and said he had lent him money, around 5 million rand, reportedly to purchase equipment used for making narcotics. Crucially, Matlala denied any involvement in the kidnapping and portrayed himself as a supportive friend, claiming Boshoga called his brother to say he was fetching materials when he vanished. He said he did not know who abducted him and insisted it was not him. In emotionally charged moments before the committee, Matlala appealed to Boshoga's mother, urging her to believe in his innocence. Matlala's legal entanglements go far beyond this case. He faces a range of serious charges, from attempted murder and conspiracy to fraud and money laundering. His business interests and alleged connections inside the police and political spheres have made him a controversial figure in national headlines. In late 2025, he was transferred to a high-security prison facility in KwaZulu-Natal after repeated breaches of prison protocol, including possession of a cell phone while incarcerated. Despite these controversies, Matlala has not been formally charged with Boshoga's kidnapping and maintains his innocence in the matter. More than a year after his disappearance, Jerry Boshoga's fate remains unknown. His story has touched on themes far bigger than a single missing person. Rising trends in kidnappings in South Africa, the emotional toll on families of the missing, and questions about crime, corruption, and how justice is pursued when powerful figures are under suspicion. As law enforcement continues to investigate, one truth persists. Nothing definitive has been established about what happened to Jerry, lived, died, or otherwise, since that day in November 2024. For Boshoga's loved ones, the case is not a headline. It is a daily reality of unanswered questions and grief. While public attention has waned and official investigations remain confidential, their plea for closure resonates. Bring Jerry home. Whether through police breakthroughs, insider testimony, or whistleblower revelations, the hope endures that one day the truth, whatever it may be, will finally emerge.